Pace cars pull down pit road here at the Bashas Supermarket 200. It is Kyle Busch again on the high side. As we go back to green, and just what you had talked about in our pre-race, Rusty, a huge 4, 5, 6, 7 car pileup right on the front straightaway. And you said it at the beginning of the broadcast, this happens more times than we care to think about.
It always happens. I mean, you can pretty well count every race. They're going to get excited and they're going to crash about 50 miles an hour, Randy.
I don't know what it is. It's just a pattern at this racetrack. It just happens all the time.
All right, you see the damage on the 38 of Jason Leffler. There's the 73 also involved in this mess of Derek Cope.
We're hurt bad.
And we're going to get a red flag situation here, and Trevor Bayne involved in this as well. I also noticed, I thought I saw the 16 of Colin Brown, so another tough break for that team as they're trying. There is Landon Castle. He was trying to follow up the 2 great runs that Scott Wimmer gave this 7 car. That's not going to happen. And it looks like Casey Mears also involved in this, as now this puts the 10 car in jeopardy as far as not being able to get back into the top 30 and have a guaranteed spot when we go to Texas next week. He is 31st right now.
Definitely killed their chance. Look at James Boucher. This is another week of a destroyed car. Of none of these guys are making it. It's just these guys being anxious on these restarts, slowing down, anticipating the start, and just taking off. And the guy in front of him doesn't take off, and stuff like this happens.
All right,
take a look at some replays.
See, I was watching the leaders right here because you see the 22 car now. He's not the leader. Kyle Busch is the leader. You see Kyle actually stumbles quite a bit, and the 22 car gets the lead across the line, which is really not, he's not supposed to do, but that stacks the whole field up behind him.
Yeah, it looks like Kyle got out of the throttle a little bit right there, and it just let them all to start piling up behind him. It's not that it's Kyle's fault. He saw the car on the inside take off. Let's take it back. Listen back in the back here. Oh.
Look at everybody getting jacked up.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that.
11 slowed down. The 10, Casey Mears hit him. Boucher hit him.
16. Look at Tony Raines sneak on through. What a great move by Tony to keep his car out of the mess.
Looks like
here's another view.
Clint Boyer drove up underneath the drive shaft of James Boucher right here, the 1 car. You see him just start stacking. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, about from the 88 car, Kelly Byers back. That's where this whole thing happened. You see Clint Boyer involved in it. That's a lot of cars.
Let's go on board with Landon Castle. Just listen.
They have wiped out about 10 cars still in 2nd gear. Barely moving this happens.
On board the 99.
Taking up.
I'll tell you what, if I was those Cup guys sitting down in those motorhomes tonight, I'd take note of this for tomorrow and learn from it.
You can just see the accordion effect, and boy, Boucher really gets jacked up by the 21.
I think you really need to look at the very front of the field and see why Kyle Busch didn't go, or what happened on the start, because that's what caused this wreck.
Yeah, you see, he just didn't move, and it just went all the way back. It's like a traffic jam in L.A., man. The guy in the front stops, and they all pay for it behind him.
And the problem is, because it's not a D-shaped oval where we have that nice big infield area where people can go diving for cover, you've got that inside wall, and here's what happens.
You see the green flag comes out. The 18 car doesn't take off right away.
And one thing to remember, too, guys, like we talked about earlier in the broadcast, it's a long front straightaway, real narrow, and these drivers do not have good vision ahead of them on restarts as they're coming through the gears.
All right, so there's going to be a lot of cleanup as we head to a commercial. We'll go on board with Landon Castle one more time on this multi-car mess on the front stretch here with 64 laps to go at Phoenix. Okay, we are under a red flag situation here at Phoenix International Raceway after a multi-car front stretch crash. And we've been looking at the replay action, and the race leader, 18, Kyle Busch, is supposed to be the first across the start-finish line. But there are 2 lines in this zone, and let's go back and go through this, Andy. Take us through.
Okay, Marty, this is the restart zone. It starts right here. This is a double line on the wall, and it starts right there. That's where you can go. Now, if you don't go in this zone, now this is where you have to go, this line here. If you don't go in between those 2 lines, the starter, the flagman, is going to go ahead and throw the green flag, and the race is going to start. Kyle Busch did not go between those 2 lines, and that's what caused this pileup.
Now the big question is, was there gamesmanship there? Was he trying to get, because Keselowski's
I can't get his head right here, but I know that these two have been racing each other all night long, and you know, this is a case where, you know, if Brad Keselowski beats him to the line and he gets the lead going in turn 1, they can black flag the 22.
All right, let's go on board with Carl Edwards. He is right behind this. Let's listen.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Pretty obvious right there.
Got a big wreck behind you. Yellow is out. Got a big wreck behind you.
Big is understating. 12 cars. Now let's listen to what Kyle said about it on the radio.
So what happens when the number 1 starter beats the number 2 starter to the line? Vice versa. Number 2 beats number 1.
It's going to be one of those deals where they're going to say, well, if he gives it back to you, you know.
They make a big deal out of it every drivers' meeting, so I thought it was a black flag, but because caution came out, they're going to let it slide.
Well, we've not heard any ruling from NASCAR that there was a rules violation, and we'll wait to see if there is anything. Let's get a comment from down on pit road, Jamie.
Well, Jason Ratcliffe is the crew chief for Kyle Busch. You sitting here watching all the replays with us. What do you think of that restart? What happened there?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what we need to do to this car to win the race. But, I mean, it looked like that the 22 was anticipating Kyle going, and he wanted to get a good run and beat him down in the turn 1. And Kyle just didn't go, but he didn't have to go. I mean, he wasn't to the stripe yet, the single stripe, and the flag hadn't flown. So, but I think when he went, everybody kind of went off of him, and that's what caused him to stack up there. So we'll see.
All right, so what do you think? Once we go green here, you guys good to go to the end?
Yes.
Is the car good enough to get to victory lane?
I think so. Right now we're a little free, which I think is good for the long run. Just means we should be a little better later. But the 22 is good. The 20 is good. There's a lot of good race cars out there, so we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, thanks, Jason. Shannon?
Well, Trevor Bayne right in the middle of all that mess on the racetrack. Rusty Wallace said it's a lot like LA traffic. You just have nowhere to go.
Exactly. I mean, I felt like I was in a super speedway race there for a second. There's cars everywhere, and then you just see them piling up, you know, and Brett Griffin came over the radio and he's like, you know, check up, check up. So I slowed down, and people behind me, I guess they couldn't see it all happening because they were, you know, we had just pitted and we had been moved to the back, so they were trying to dig up through there, and they got into us, pushed us right into us. But, you know, we had been working on this thing hard all day, trying to get it dialed in. It was awesome in practice, and for some reason it just had a different attitude to start the race. So we had been working on it. Came in to try to short pit a little bit to get our fresh tires for the end and get some track position because that's so important. And then we just got pushed into that mess. So not much you can do about it, but you know, we'll see if we can't get this Aaron's Dream Machine back out on the track here.
Yeah, and you can see those guys are hard at work at that 99. Get out and get as many points as they can for Bayne.
And we have just gone from a red flag condition to a yellow condition. They've refired the engine, so about a 10-minute red flag. And we'll come back and reset it for you. Pits are closed as of right now.